Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to jump into the Monster Manual, and we're going to look at one of my favorite little bags of hit points to put on the table, the Bugbear. Why do I like Bugbears? I'll tell you as we go. So, Bugbear, number appearing 6 to 36, AC 5, 3+1 hit dice. 1 attack, 2 to 8 or by weapon damage, and the special attacks they surprise on a 1 through 3 and a die 6. No special defenses, standard magic resistance, low to average intelligence, and specifically low, and they're chaotic evil. Bugbears live in loose bands and are typically found in the same areas as our goblins. Unlike their smaller cousins, however, these hairy, giant goblins operate equally well in bright daylight or great darkness, as they have infravision to 60 feet. So they're likely to choose a habitation above ground as they are to select a subterranean abode. If 12 or more bugbears are encountered, there will be a leader of 22 to 25 hit points. There can be shaman, there can be sub-chiefs. I don't go into a ton of this. If encountered in their lair, there will always be a chief or sub-chief. There will be females and young equal to 50% each of the numbers of males. Neither of the latter types of bugbears will fight unless in a life or death situation. In the latter case, the females fight as hobgoblins and the young will fight as kobolds. The arms carried by bugbears run a gamut of available weapons, from swords to wooden clubs with spikes set in them, morning stars. A fair number of spears are carried by these monsters, and they tend to use them along with axes, maces, and hammers as missile weapons. As bugbears are strong, they can throw these weapons up to 40 feet, anything under 20 feet being treated as medium range. Although bugbears are clumsy looking and walk with a shambling gait, they are actually able to move very quickly and with great stealth, thus surprising opponents 50% of the time. Bugbears speak goblin and hobgoblin in addition to their racial and alignment tongues, and the description is the skin of bugbears is light yellow to yellow-brown, typically dull yellow. Their hair ranges in color from lustreless tannish brown to brick red. Their eyes are greenish white with red pupils. The odds and ends of armor they wear, as well as whatever cloth, skins, and hides they drape themselves in, tend to be ill-kept and dirty and dingy. They live for approximately 75 years. Okay, pretty straightforward. So it's just a little monster. It fills a little bit higher hit dice niche than orcs would. And it is a goblin cousin, which is good. And then they are chaotic evil, also good. They are large size, which is also interesting. So bugbears bring a lot to the table. At 3+1 hit dice, they're going to be somewhere around 16 hit points. In that ballpark, 16 to 18 hit points. They're going to attack 1 by 2 to 8 or by weapon. They surprise 50% of the time. That's interesting when you have a ranger in the group because they surprise 50, but he's only surprised on a 1. So you got to kind of figure that out. What I usually will do is just double whatever their surprise is. So if the ranger's only surprised on a 1, with bugbears coming up, he's surprised on a 1 or a 2. That's how I usually handle it. I usually do it quick and dirty, and I try to be consistent. But that's just something you have to kind of deal with as a DM as the game is going on. But what these bugbears do, being goblins, is they actually do the same thing that goblins do at lower levels and orcs do at slightly higher levels. And then by the time you're up around 3rd or 4th level, you're going to want to start introducing bugbears because they have more hit points. Got to be careful. 3rd or 4th level with these bugbears at 15 to 16 hit points each with an armor class of 5 and 2 to 8 damage, you can actually do some pretty good damage, surprisingly good damage. So be careful of the numbers of these that you introduce to any kind of medium level party. But these are great from about 3rd level on up. I've even used bugbears, and I've used the chiefs and the shaman and everything, all the way up to 8th and 9th level. In numbers, they can be quite formidable with leaders. And when I kind of blew off the leader thing, I didn't mean to imply that I don't have leaders. I do. I just don't generally follow the rules on this because I feel leaders should be even a little stronger than this. Going from 3+1 hit dice to 4 hit dice is not that great, but it's okay. And then you have a bigger leader, and then I like to put in a shaman, bugbear now and again to have some cleric spells at my command. It's interesting when you use a command spell from a bugbear cleric shaman against the player characters. You can have some interesting results. Got to remember, the bugbear cleric has to be able to speak common, or the players have to be able to understand bugbear. So that can be an interesting little twist for you. But bugbears are great in numbers. They are chaotic evil, so they're hard to control, but they make great group monsters for your big bad evil guy to have guarding his lair. Being chaotic evil, they can be cowed by strength. So if your big bad evil guy's a 9th level magic user and he's used some of his magic to cow the bugbears and then other magic to reward them, you can have quite a formidable little guardian force. I have periodically put out bugbears with a +1 spear, or one with a +2 longsword, or two-handed sword that I let them wield one-handed because they are large. It depends on what your campaign is and what your player characters are, what their levels are and what their strengths are. If you have a bunch of players and they're all around 4th or 5th level, a ton of bugbears is not going to be that bad of an encounter for them. It's going to be a lot of fighting, and they're going to take some damage, but probably will prevail. Please note, these bugbears are still susceptible to sleep at 3+1 hit dice, so you can get asleep one or two of them. So that's important going forward too. So the sleep spell stays decent until the magic user hits 6th, 7th, 8th level. And even at that, there's still going to be some use. I generally will keep a sleep spell on all of my magic users, simply because you never know when that big bar fight breaks out, when you got to kind of knock the room out and pull your party up for the town guard that gets there or something like that. So a sleep spell is good for that too. So, but back to bugbears, I love them. They're just a really good utility monster. Gonna do damage, gonna be bags of hit points for your players to work on, but they're probably not going to overwhelm them as long as you stage the encounter correctly. And that's all I've got to say about these evil goblins. Let me know what you think, if you use bugbears, and if so, do you give them any kind of bonus? I wouldn't think it was unreasonable to give bugbear maybe a +1/+1 for their great size and strength, but let me know what you've done. I generally don't do that, but it's not unheard of, so that might be some way to brief them a little bit. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Still want to grow the channel. Please take a look at Patreon, see if you can help me out there. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.